Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. My name is Tanya, for those of you that are new here, and I am a watercolor and acrylic artist. So I've been collecting stones and crystals since I was a young girl, and I have a really nice collection. This is just a little sampling of it, but I've got boxes and boxes of stones. And I love just looking at them, looking at all the different patterns and layers and shapes that they have. Especially the geodes. The geodes are just gorgeous. It almost looks like a snowflake right in there with all the crystals. And it usually has a beautiful center in it, or sometimes it is open. Let's see, like this geode here. The way they sliced it, it's got a little opening in it. So I'm just going to take you through and just show you how I create some of these really beautiful organic shapes in my paintings. And let's see, here's another one. This one, look at that. That one's got all the crystal formations inside. It looks like a little snowflake. They could be like little scenery. They're just beautiful. I just love looking at them. They're all uniquely different. Look at the patterns on this one. Look how gorgeous that is. So I just love looking at them and trying to mimic them in my artwork. So let me move this aside. I'm gonna take one and just place it right here, just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I have painted all these really cool different shapes, and I'm going to show you how I achieve this. Look at that beautiful pattern in there. I just have generic watercolor paper. I'm not using anything specific. I think this is just Canson. But obviously the better watercolor paper you have, the better if you plan on selling your artwork. And I've got my Winsor Newton watercolors, and I'll be letting you know what color I'm using as I'm going along. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my number 10 Grumbacher, and I'm just going to dip it in my water. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. If you have them, you don't have to go out and purchase it, obviously. But if you have these are really awesome to use too. I've got my Dr. P.H. Martin Bombay India ink. These are awesome to work with. They're just a little bit more vibrant than the watercolors. If you want a little bit more of some vibrancy in there, I think I used my India ink on these. And then I also pulled in a little bit of my glitter just to give it a little bit of a shimmer, just like the geodes have a little bit of shimmer with the crystal. I pulled in a little bit of shimmer on those too, so I'll do that for you as well. So if you want to use your regular watercolors, for this, I think I'm just going to be using my India ink just to show you, and then I'll be using my watercolors a little bit later to show you all the details. All right, so get your brush wet, and actually this is causing a little shadow on my, here, let me move that up a little bit. The sun is shining really brightly today. And I'm just gonna get a nice circle of water. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. As you saw, all my geodes are different shapes. Just get a good amount of water on there. And then I'm just gonna actually dip it right into my ink, and watch this. Get that out of the way. Look how beautiful that is. And the watercolors do this as well. And then if you want to put a little border on it, look at how it just follows along with the water line. That is awesome. And then you can dip other colors in here if you want to. The way I achieved this look right here, I'm going to let this dry for a second. I'm going to actually just pounce my ink right on that border a little bit, just get it a little bit darker. All right, I'm going to go on to another one. You just got to let this dry for a minute. Actually, let's just do a little one. Why waste all this paper? I'm just going to do another little one right here next to it. And let's go ahead and use this color. This one is, oh, my cherry red. So I'm just gonna dip it right in. Boom, look at that. Gorgeous. It just automatically starts to disperse throughout all that little circle that I made there. And then you can help it along a little bit, especially if you want a little bit of an edge on this. All right, I think I'm going to have to close my shade because this is creating some funky shadows on my paper here. Hold on. Okay, that's better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let these dry, and I am going to show you a whole page that I did yesterday. Let me pull in those sheets. Where did they go? Okay, so I did these yesterday, so they're all nice and dry. And what I do is I just go ahead and do sheets of them, all different colors, and let them dry completely. And then what you could do is just go over them with regular watercolor, or you could do more details if you want to with your India ink, if you have it. But like for this one here, how I got all those really nice little patterns, I'm going to show you on here. Let's show you on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to re-wet it. So I'm just applying water right over that circle again. And let's take the same blue, but a little bit dark. Actually, let's take, which one is this? This one is my teal. Let's put teal over it and see what happens. Okay. And I'm just going to be dabbing it on the edges like this. Look how pretty that is. And when it dries, you can see it's already starting to form that shape that I had showed you in this one. Isn't that pretty? All right, so we're just gonna, and then if you don't like this edge that it gave you here, because maybe there wasn't enough water, you can always help it along a little bit. Otherwise, I kind of like that. I just like sometimes the way it just naturally moves. There. Wash off your brush really well, because these are inks. If you want to go ahead and use generic brushes, you can do that as well if you don't want to use your really good ones if you do have these inks. I'm going to show you now with watercolor. So let's go ahead and I'm going to wet this one. And we'll put a color over this one. And I'm going to do it with just watercolor just to show you. And let's use let's go with indigo. So I just have my regular watercolor. See how this one is not dispersing as easily, but it's still giving you that look that you were trying to go for. Look how pretty that is. And then I'm going to do a little center there. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to start enhancing all these. So let me show you what I did here. You can give it a little bit of an edge, like this one I had done green, just like that one, and then I went over with a little bit of watercolor, just to give it a little bit more of an edge of a blue. This one here I did in the aquas that we did up there, and I just kept adding a little bit more, and I left a little bit more of a white center and gave it a darker middle right in the middle there. This one I did in orange, which I have some, oh, I don't have orange on this side. But I did this in orange, and then I went over with a watercolor yellow and then a little bit brighter red in the middle. So you can play around with these, and then you can start even adding a little bit of glitter, like I had said. And the glitter that I use is glitter watercolor paint. It's metallic watercolor paint. It's not really glitter. And I use the Arteza watercolor brand, but you can use any brand that you have. And this one here came in some really nice, it came with, let me take them off my wall. This one came with these sheets. So as you go along and you can swatch them out. So you just line up with your paints. So this one here is called Diamond White. This one's lemon yellow, and then so on. So what you would do is you would just swatch out the color on here. So they give you one that's in white paper, and they also give you one that's in black paper, and it's got the same thing, the diamond white, the lemon yellow, and so on. So you can see what it looks like on white paper versus the black paper. And I thought that was a really good idea. So I just leave these swatches. I have a bulletin board right here next to my desk, and I just leave them up there, pinned up there, so that I can look to see what color I want to use, which is really, really nice. And that's the Arteza brand, but many different watercolor brands make metallic watercolor. So then that's what I do is I just go ahead and I just start putting on all these little shapes. So I am going to just start working, and you can just watch if you'd like. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, so these are pretty much dry already. Some are still a little damp, but that's okay. So now's the time to go in and put on your metallic watercolors if you are done with all your little patterns. And I get my little swatch, and let's say I wanted to add pink to this one, like where I already have pink right here. So I'll go in and I'll kind of match up what pink looks best with this one. And right now I think it's this cherry blossom. It kind of matches it completely. So I'm going to then go over to here, and I know it was the fourth one in on my swatch. So it's this one, and I'm going to get it all nice and wet just to activate that pigment and all the metallics in there. And then I'm going to go over my pink. So I'm not really changing the color on my painting because I'm choosing a color that's very similar to what I already have down on my paper. And it's just going to make it a little bit metallic-y. And these metallics are beautiful because you don't see them. They're not like so sparkly, but when they dry, let me grab one. Which one should I grab? Let's do this one. So I don't know if you can see it here. Let me put it in the light a little bit. If you can see that here, let me open my blinds really quick because you have to be able to see this in the sun. I'm not sure if you're going to be, well, the sun is not exactly hitting my spot here, but it does have this little metallic sheen. So I went ahead and I picked up this like peach color, and I went on the peach of the painting that was already there, and it's got a little sheen to it. So it's very subtle. You can see them better in the light. Yeah, in the light, you can see them really, really pretty. But it's just a really nice little metallic sheen to it. Even if you don't want to pick a color that completely matches, let's go ahead and experiment. Let's say we've got this nice peachy color here, but we want to change it to maybe more of add a little bit of a blue hint in there. So let's go to the sky blue. Let's activate that one. And I'm not sure how much of the blue you'll be able to see on the paint. So it just toned it down to more of a purpley tone. So if you want to go ahead and change some of the colors on here, then obviously just use a different color. But if you want to leave the same mixture that you had already, like I had the pink here, then go ahead and just kind of match it up to whatever color you already have down. All right, so then the next step is to cut them out. And I'm going to go ahead and put metallics on all of these, but I'll just do that off camera. So I just take my scissors, and I try to leave, depending on how close some of these circles got together, but I do try to leave a little bit of white space on here. So I'll go ahead and I'll cut a few out like this, and then I try to leave a little bit of a white border. And if you don't like that white border, then just cut it off. You don't have to, but it just kind of adds another little ring around the shape that you created. And it doesn't have to be perfect. There, perfect. Well, not perfect, but good enough. And then just go ahead and, I want to make maybe this one a little bit thinner of a white line. So it just depends on how much of that white line you want to be, that you want to show in your paintings. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all those out. And then what I do when they are done, I put them in a little box, which I've shown this many times. But I go ahead and I put them in a little box, and when I'm ready to do a painting, I'll just take out the color combinations that I want to work with. So I throw them in here, all different sizes. I have some smaller ones, I have some larger ones, I have some that are a little bit more intricate, I have some that are a little bit more plain. Just depends on what kind of painting I want to do. So I just throw in just a whole bunch of different shapes in here. All right, and then when I'm done with that, I'm not sure this will fit on camera. It's a little bit of one of my bigger paintings, but I go ahead and I do a painting, and this one is already framed. I'm not going to take it out of the frame, but I'll do like scenery with all my little collages that I've been showing lately on all my little videos, and then I'll just throw in my little geodes here and there just to add a little bit of extra. So I do have some flowers and leaves in there, and I do have some trees and some houses, but I like to throw in my geodes also just to add a little bit of dimension and just a little bit more of a pop of a color, and it just keeps layering my painting. So that's what I love doing with them. So that is my process of creating these little shapes, and it all started with my geode shapes here that I have in my little container over there. So these are just a really nice inspiration. So next time you go to the store and you see some of these at I don't know where you can find these. I found these at actually a stone shop, but I'm not sure where else they sell them. But if you ever see them, pick them up because they are a good source of inspiration. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want more videos like this one, please give me a thumbs up, and you can make a comment in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this one. Happy painting. Bye.